Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a old handsaw that is going to get a new handle. It's an old Warranted Superior, as you can see by the medallion. Warranted Superior handle, or handsaw. It's the top of the horn has been broken off, so we're going to totally replace this handle. Somebody's already started to clean up this blade when I bought it, and it's unfortunate because they sanded away the plate or the etch on the plate, so we're just going to clean it up and just make it shiny and sharpen the saw. So first thing we're going to do is take off the handle, and that's just simply done by removing these screws here. Got this board here. This is a piece of alder that I planed, or not planed, that I milled from a tree that fell on our property a long time ago. So I've got this, it's just been sitting. I hadn't quite figured out what to do. It's a little over an inch thick. This is perfect material, I think, for making a new handle. But the first thing I got to do is I got to remove this really rough texture, and I got to get it smooth. So I could run it through a mechanical planer, but I'm just going to use a couple of these. I've got one set for rough cutting, one set for finish cutting. So I'm just going to start hand planing these, or hand planing this down until it's smooth. So when it's really rough, I'll take my one that's set a little deeper, and I'll actually go across the grain, and you can see how quickly that removes a lot of that. And I'll go back through, of course, and smooth it more. But I want to really make sure that I get this down to where it's, you can see the wood starting to come through, and it's going to be nice looking wood. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to this board until it's smooth. Alright, so my board is now planed. It's pretty smooth. So now what I'm going to do, since this is a piece that I don't have a lot of, I want to save as much as I can for as many projects as I can. So I'm going to place my handle, use up the least amount of material possible, but still have enough to make my handle the shape I want it. So I'm going to put my handle actually about right there. I'm going to get some neat grain in here, and it's going to be nice and stable. So I'm just going to trace around my handle. Alright, so now I've got the saw plate on here how I want it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark where I'm going to have to cut down to on the saw plate. So when I have to rip it down, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a transfer punch, looks like that, and I'm going to mark where these holes go. So very carefully mark where these holes go, because I'm going to actually come back through and I'll deepen them. Fortunately, alder's soft enough to where I can push this in by hand, and these are considered, then I can put my center drill on and drill all this out. So there, those are marked, plates marked. Now I can start cutting. Now that I've got these holes all drilled and laid out, I'm not going to drill them through yet, just for where the screw heads are going to sit. I'm going to drill out the center, the parts for my handle, cut this out first, drill these all the way through, mark it, and then start putting my saw plate on. Now I need to measure the thickness of this so I can put a line down the center. I'll cut it, and that's where my saw plate's going to go. This looks a little goofy right now with this big piece here, but we've got our piece halfway roughed out. The saw plate fits. Now that we've got all that done, we're going to go through and we're going to finish cutting out this. We're going to finish cutting out this, and then we'll start smoothing it up, and then we'll move on to the saw plate. Once we have all of this cut out and shaped with a chisel, same with back here, now what I'm going to do is just go through and just start sanding, smoothing this up so it's going to be, you know, make sure that it's comfortable in my hand when I go to grab it. And then I'll sand the top of this, sides, I'll deburr these edges, and I don't think I'm going to stain this. I'm not sure yet. I'll decide it once I get it all done. I've got some surface sanding to do. Got a few nicks here I need to take out that I missed when I planed it. Not a big deal though, easy to fix. But it's coming along pretty nicely. It's very comfortable in my hand right now, even though I haven't sanded this part yet. So I just sand and fit and look, make sure it's even, and just keep sanding, fitting, filing, and all that stuff till it's done. So the handle has been sanded. It's been block sanded down to 150. All the insides have been sanded as well, so now it's time to put our engraving on there. I mean, the engraving's nothing fancy, and all I'm going to do is just approximate it. I don't need to worry too much about it being perfect. So I'm just going to do that. That's big there, and then I'm just going to just put in about what I think it would look like. I don't know why it's wheat. I've never been able to figure out why they do the wheat grain. I haven't been able to see it on the internet at all. So, is what it is. If anybody knows, you know, please let me know. I'm always curious as to why particular things are picked over others. Alright, so now that that's in, I'm just going to take a carving knife. An X-Acto knife would work too. And I'm just going to go in, I'm just going to trace these lines. Not pressing too deep. And then, just going to start. I'm going to start cutting. I'm just going to kind of cut at a little bit of an angle each time. It looks like I need to sharpen this, so I'll probably do that, and then I'll continue cutting. That's basically what I'm going to do for all these until it's done. Handle's been carved. Now, normally I don't stain hardwood, but I thought this would be an interesting example to stain, to give it kind of an older look. And I'm just staining this alder with golden oak, and it actually is looking pretty nice. So, and I'm just putting it on real light. I'm putting it on with a paper towel. I'm going to actually try to buff off the majority of what I put on here, but it's really bringing a lot of this grain out. And I think this is going to be really pretty. So, go through, stain this up. Once it's stained, then I'll put a clear on it, probably a wax, and then attach it to the handle, or the handle is stained. It's going to sit and for 24 hours, and then I'm going to apply a wax over it, move on to the saw plate, clean that up nice, put it all together. This saw will be done. So just a little while longer, and this saw is going to be finished, ready to go. Alright, so the handle is all finished. It's been stained with golden oak. It's been waxed. It is ready to go. It's all done. So now we're going to turn our attention to the saw plate. And the saw plate itself is not really that bad. It's unfortunate that whoever had cleaned this up before got rid of the etch. It was right here. You can still see some remnants of it. I have no idea what it is. So what I'm gonna do is wet sand this with 150 grit. Here's the saw all completed. The saw plate's been waxed. The teeth have been sharpened. The handle's put on. The medallion and hardware's cleaned up. See that? And you can see that this handle here, the original handle on the saw was here, and the new handle started out as just a hunk of log that was plain shaped and cut, fit. Now this saw is ready to go. This is a nice little lightweight saw that's going to provide years and years of service. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you got any questions or comments, leave it in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.